Hello and welcome to the show. We are back on a BeamNG drive with 3 more vehicles, taking on the West Coast Rally, starting with a big old van. This, the H15 Vanster, big supercharged V8 at the front, all-wheel drive, off-road suspension, off-road tyres. Should be good at this opening dirt section. Might have more troubles when we get on to the tarmac. There is plenty of power in this. It's unlikely to really be challenging the race cars, let's face it, down here. But there should be enough power for this to give perhaps some of the road cars, some of the sort of more sports cars, a little bit of a scare. It should be pretty good through the dirt section. If I don't... Oh, I've driven it in way too fast into that corner. We're going to mess up the Kazakh hairpin completely. Okay, not the best piece of driving from me across the dirt there. We have survived it all, but it was a little bit scruffy and lost a fair bit of time. Now we're onto the tarmac. This is where things might get a little bit dicey for the Vanster. Very high riding, that high centre of mass, not necessarily a good thing. Oh, it's sliding its way through Rockingham. Somehow we got away with that without ending up in a wall. I am very, very surprised as we leave the first of the hairpins. Still a little bit of a wiggle around that section. Oh, try and slow it down for the second hairpin. Now we can potentially get on the power nice and soon. We should be pretty fast accelerating out of that corner up to 77 miles an hour. Oh, that's going to be too much. Too many miles an hour. There goes the front wheel. I think we lost... Oh, actually, amazingly, we didn't lose steer, and we've just bent it and punctured the tyre. I mean, yeah, 77, 80 miles an hour on the way into NASCAR is very, very good going. The problem is I've then got to slow it down from that sort of speed. And, yeah, asked a bit too much of it. But, I'm pleasantly surprised by the speed that this vehicle can achieve around here. It is tripoding under some heavy acceleration out of these corners. Now, can we get on that power nice and soon? Oh, we got a big tripod on the way through. Oh, ouch! We got a big tripod on the way through Rockingham there, and in trying to, catch the vehicle, trying to get it back under control again, that's gone to meet a rock, and that's broken everything at the front of it. That's a very dead van. Early on the brakes into NASCAR this time around. There we go. Ooh, that's not going to go well. Oh, no. There. So the inside of the corner there is a bit bumpy. And... well, I had a choice. I either rolled it off the inside of the corner, I could stop it rolling, which I did. I countersteered to stop it rolling, but in doing that, you got to hit the concrete wall, and we hit the concrete wall and rolled anyway. So, the van stood upside down. It was inevitable, really, let's face it, that this would happen. The final corner, don't really know what we're going to be able to do here. We're going to get a very, very big sideways moment. Are we going to... No, we're not going to be able to stop that. We're not going to be able to stop that one. Damn it. I thought I was alright on the way. It's such a horrible tightening corner. It seemed alright on the way in. I thought I got it right, but when you get to the exit bit where it then starts tightening up, it was just too much speed, and once you're committed to that, you can't save it. If I go on the brakes, we're going to be using the grip that we could be using for turning, for slowing down. We'll hit the lamppost with less force, but we'll understeer even further wide, so, yeah, can't do anything. Well, I say can't do anything. Need to be slower on the way into that corner. Bugger. Well, so far, the van is kind of acting just about as I expected. It is pretty good on the dirt, if a little large. It certainly does feel large around this course. The hairpins are very, very tight up here for a big old van, unlike things like the Hopper, for example. That, well, yeah, okay, it's not a traditional racing vehicle, shall we say. It didn't feel too bad through the hairpins. This does feel like it struggles, but it will have traction. It will have good traction, has good brakes. to deal with that section. However, as we now come on to the tarmac, got to watch out for rolling the vehicle. I really can't afford to clip any of these inside mounds of dirt and so on, because they will just launch the truck up onto its side, and once it's on its side it is going to topple over. The very, very high centre of mass will do the rest of the work for the vehicle. Now, first hairpin was considerably better this time around. Second hairpin, good as well. We can jump on that power. I mean, we're on 3 wheels on the exit, but that's okay. We can deal with all of that. Hit the brakes into NASCAR. Don't hug the inside too much through here. Actually looking pretty good there. Now, we can probably get away with clonking. Yeah, the big old mound of dirt on the outside doesn't matter to this truck. You can get away with running over it. It's got the suspension to deal with it. Now, make sure we got it slowed down for this final corner. That will do it for the van. It is across the line. And fire at the stadium? Not quite. Well, I mean, we fired it at the stadium, not quite over the over the wall. That's an impressive bounce as well as it came back. It's an impressive bounce indeed from the van. Basically, the only thing broken in that was the engine. You know, wheels are still good, drive shaft's still good. But yeah, engine is kaput. Well, as far as vehicles go, kind of what I expected. Kind of what I expected from the van steering in terms of where it struggled, where it was stronger. It'll be interesting to see how that's done in terms of stage time. Up next, we move on to a 200BX, this time the race spec of the car. I don't think it's quite going to be challenging the likes of the Outlaw, the likes of the Bolide Class A, and so on, but it is likely to be a pretty quick car here. Slick tyres, decent amount of power, but not too crazy amounts. You know, we might be able to use some of the power. Should be a recipe for success down this course. Of course, the slick tyres, not so good for this first bit. The rear-wheel drive will not help matters down the very slippery, slidey dirt, although it has made it here without too much, I say that, too much in the way of issues. It's just going to be a case of be super careful and don't catch the bumper on the big old dirt pile. That's never going to end particularly well. Now it's going to become a completely different vehicle. We've got through the carefully does it stage. You know, we can go on maximum attack. Lots of fire from the back of the 200BX. Can we be flat out through Rockingham? Yes, we can. Relatively easy into the hairpins for the first time. Unlikely to be seeing any issues with rolling the car off of the dirt is what I was going to say. I mean, it was a slight panic as I was saying that sentence and it was sliding towards the outside of the course. We could well have rolled it off that dirt bank by going sideways across it. We're not going to clip something and roll it like we did the Vanster. Yeah. Decent power rear-wheel drive car. They can get slidey. They can get slidey down here. We were seeing about 80 miles an hour out of the van. This one here will go a little bit faster. It's up towards 90 in towards NASCAR. You could potentially get away with a little bit more than that even, although not more than that on the exit. Not more than that on the exit. Oh, that's a big spin. We're stuck on a bush. Bugger. Otherwise, the car's actually relatively okay from that crash. Oh, I thought I got it right. The back end, just look at that, you can see in the distance the tyre tracks just as the back end let go and started sending it towards that outside. Unlike with the van, where you could crash over that mound of doom as much as you'd like, to Mound of Doom Mark II, I think that one is, you can't in this. You really can't in this. It is not too bad at all for a race car. For one on slick tyres, really not at all designed to work on that dirt. We're in trouble. We're in big trouble there. I hit that bounce on the outside, and once you've done that, you're a bit of a passenger. That's a problem, to say the least, for our car. Well, we are learning that dirt is mean. I think that is the takeaway for the 200BX. All it takes is the smallest hit the smallest bump, if you have a large bump or one of these sort of mounds of dirt on the outside, you're really in a lot of trouble. It doesn't take much to upset the car. That's not surprising. You know, this is a circuit race car. It's just not designed to have to deal with these huge bumps that you find along here. It is actually doing a pretty good job, I will give it credit, dealing with the dirt section. It's actually getting changed direction pretty damn well. We've seen race cars struggle more. Hell, I think the Vanster struggle more with some of those tight hairpins. So it is doing pretty well in that section. Now, don't run too wide. I mean, of course, you want to be running out a bit wide there. It is you want to get the turn in for the hairpin, you know, the racing line and all. But you definitely don't want to put a wheel on the dirt. That is when things end badly for you. Carried plenty of speed on the way into the hairpin. Get on that. There we go. That was nice. That was very nice indeed around there. So how much speed can we carry into NASCAR? Well, about that. Not much more than that. I wouldn't want to. Stop sliding. Straight in the exit. That's good. It's looking good up towards the final corner, though. And who knows how much speed we can get away here. Oh, that's looking absolutely spot on. If we can get on the power now, we can. There's a bit of a wheel. But it is going to be across the line very nicely. Oh, not quite as high as the van either on the stadium. Oh, there was a couple of very, very spot-on corners out of that second hairpin. That was pretty much perfect for the 200BX in the final corner. It was absolutely lovely on the way in. Kind of got the braking sorted in a straight line and could get on the power. Back end of the car is always teetering on the edge of moving around down this course. It's constantly on the verge of braking sideways, but managed to keep it all together. That felt like a very quick run. How much time is lost on the dirt, I'm not sure, and how it's going to compare to some of the other race cars, but to drive, that did feel very, very quick indeed. Our final vehicle today is the Bolide Corsa. This ludicrously crazy car has run in series before, and there has been a problem. The twin turbos that come with this competition version that I have got horrendous turbo lag. It'll be fine on a normal circuit, but on the normal tight twisty stages that I use for series, it doesn't work. It didn't work whatsoever at the Pine Hills rally stage. So what I've done for this attempt is got rid of the race turbos. I've put it on the factory turbos. Now, that will mean the car is less powerful, but the lag is also far reduced, so it's actually going to be more usable. That's the plan. It's still likely to have a bit of turbo lag, but it should be considerably more usable. Now, we will expect, again, this to be a pretty fast car. I don't think it's going to quite be as fast as the likes of the Outlaw and so on, but it is going to be pretty rapid if I can get everything right. You kind of see the turbos struggling a little bit here. This is going to be a place where it's not going to, it's not going to enjoy getting out of the corners. Once we get on the tarmac, we should be okay. We should be able to keep the speed high enough in first that there will be some boost, there will be some go in the Corsa. Okay. Might need to slow it a little bit more into, we've clomped the wall and impaled it on a rock. Oh, that's a nasty one. Okay, drives a little bit different. There's a bit more understeer in this than I was expecting from it. Certainly having gone from what was quite an oversteery 200BX to what is quite an understeery Bolide. We've bent the front in such a way that those front wheels are never going to touch the ground again. That is a very I mean, it's engine-wise, it's fine, but we've just got those. Again, the steering survived perfectly intact, but it's not going to do anything. Now that's an interesting one. I can't really keep the revs up around the dirt corners because it's a lunatic rear-wheel drive powerful thing, and it will just spin as we're about to do. Yeah. So I was trying to keep the revs up, but in doing so, it goes round in a circle. It's going to not be fun down the dirt. In fact, the clutch doesn't like me doing it either. Yeah, not a happy bunny with these slow first few corners. One more corner to go with the Bolide. Now, we got it pretty damn spot on with the 200BX. Can we do it with the Bolide? No, we cannot. It's a lot more understeering this than I was expecting. Oh, hit the sand. That was killed a fair amount of speed, actually. The sand is working as well as you would expect sand to. There's a fair amount of understeer from this. The front end is not the most cooperative part of the car. The turbos aren't the most cooperative part of it. It's not the most cooperative car, cooperative car in general. That was English. Get on the power quite nicely out of these hairpins. It's got plenty of traction to... Oh, bugger, 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 bugger. Oh! I thought I might have got away with it. There was only a couple of centimetres away from that being okay to get around the corner. And... yeah, it wasn't quite okay. It was not quite okay. It's a really bugger of a corner. It does not take much for it to puncture your tyre when you run a smidge wide there. Well, I say it plenty of times when we have race cars that I need to be careful, of course, when it comes to the dirt down here, and you've got to be sort of just patient. There's not much you can do. With this car, it's actually a very different way of driving. You've got to throw the car around, which is weird for a slick tired race car, but it is the only way to get it through these corners. Because of the horrendous turbo lag and a fair amount of understeer, you have to essentially yank the handbrake and steer it to try and get it into the turns with any sort of speed. Very strange for a race car, but it works in this because of the power deployment issues, shall we say. And remember, this was with me putting it down to the most basic of turbos to try and give it a chance. And it is better than it could be, but it's still a bit of an awkward bugger. Still a bit of an awkward bugger. Basically, we go below 30 miles an hour, we are in trouble. About 30 miles an hour is where the turbos kick in for first gear. Any slower than that and you have no boost and absolutely no go whatsoever. After that, yeah, we're pretty good up towards NASCAR. Once more. Oh, we got a little bit of a bobble on the way in. I think the splitter kind of clonking on the bumps. It is through. There's a faintest bit of oversteer there as we howl again up towards this final corner. 99 miles an hour from the bowline. Get it turned in. That was pretty good, actually, through the final turn. It's across the line. Oh, we lost the wing mirror across the line. It made it, though. It made it across. A little bit of a bounce across the bridge. Ooh, that front wheel is at an unhappy angle indeed. Is it going to work? Is the car going to be able to drag itself out of the ditch? Probably if we do that. Oh, the body is very buckled. Well, the turbos again proved a little bit problematic for this car. Once we got it on the tarmac, it was okay. We could keep it above the sort of required speed, and we'd just about be on boost out of the tighter hairpins. On the dirt, though, it's horrendous. The dirt is very, very bad. It's not often with a race car I have to steer it around with a handbrake, but it's the only way you're going to get it through these hairpins, certainly maintaining any sort of speed whatsoever. However, yeah, how much time it's made up in that tarmac section, you know, for the latter half of the run will be an interesting one to see. On to the results, and it is decent times from both the Bowlight and the 200BX, very similar, a 23.4 and a 23.6 respectively, puts them into a 9th and 10th place, a fraction down on the FailRace Motorsport Moonhawk, the ETK K-Series, the Pazima Rally Car, and so on. Not terrible times. I think both a little bit, the Bowlight hampered a little bit by the turbos. They certainly don't help it. The 200BX, perhaps a little bit slower across the dirt. At the end of the day, the 200BX is hardly the fastest race car in the game, and the Bowlight with its dodgy turbos probably won't help matters, but there's still decent times. 23 through this course is still, yeah, a pretty fast time to beat the very fast modified I Series, the S Series, the Sunburst Sport, and so on. We have to go a bit further down to find the Vanster, but it is an 18th place, a 129.2. It'll put it ahead of the Aerovet Covert. The Fayette one beats the off-road Hopper. In fact, it is only a second down on the Miramar race car. Now, for a big off-road van, that's a decent time. That's a very decent time indeed down this course. Of course, it's going to be strong on the dirt section. However, its large, well, size doesn't really help matters. It didn't like the hairpins too much there. So to have still gone that fast, is a very good showing from the Vanster. That, though, is going to be it for this video. As ever, I shall link all the ones used in the description, so you can download them, have a go with them yourself. But thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.